This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
All right, so we're back with Laura here on Serial Killer Whisperer, and today we have Serial Killer X, who's been on the podcast before. Laura wants to kind of talk him through all the theories that we've been talking about.
All the stages of a serial killer, which we thought it would be interesting for Laura to kind of break it down with Serial Killer X, who actually experienced a lot of these things, to kind of understand what he went through during those different stages of a serial killer.
Yeah.
So
Laura, we have Serial Killer X here. How do you want to approach this? You just want to dive right in?
Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
No, you started. We've already started.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, the first stage is the fantasy. Obviously, the fantasy of the crime itself. Maybe it's a sexual fantasy.
Llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
What can you tell us about, the first stage, the fantasy stage?
Well, to tell you the truth, one of the reasons why I like talking to you so much is I'm reliving everything. So it's kind of a high when you're having flashbacks of just the events in your life.
No,
that's why I like talking to you, and the way you talk, it's very interesting.
Well, I don't know, Laura, is that your intention?
No, I mean, I think it's just a causation because of the subject matter. Unfortunately, sometimes it is what it is. You know, we have to explore these parts.
What specific thing do you want to know?
When did your fantasies start?
Teenage years.
What was the fantasy exactly?
Oh, well, it was more like being dominating somebody, tying them up, doing whatever you want to them. And then it's just progressively, you get yourself your junior high or high school girlfriend, and you start progressing more and more and more.
Now, you said at first being dominated. Was it being dominated, and did it move into dominating?
Well, I can only tell you what happened to me as a kid. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of BS happen to me, and so when I progressed, it was just like, oh, it's going to be payback time.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we touched on this earlier, on an earlier segment. So.
Okay, so how long did the fantasy stage last for you?
I would say a number of years, and what happens is this. Let's just say, being in the adult industry, you progress in your appetite towards things. So 2 girls isn't enough, then there's 3 girls. And then it's like dominating one girl and tying her to a bed, and then it's dominating 2 girls. And then it gets progressive and progressive and progressive. So the more you think about it, the more wild I actually took everything out.
Yeah.
The progression.
Escalates.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I wanted to tell you, growing up, it's like I was very, very mellow, but I remember being in a personality and wise like that. I was always had a bunch of friends, but I've always thought I was more superior to them, or I thought some of the things they acted like shouldn't act that way. If you want something, take it. So that was more my aggressive nature.
Do you remember the age like you first realized or you first noticed antisocial personality traits within yourself, or maybe you felt different from others?
It's very hard to notice something when you're normal and everyone else around you seems like they're the ones that are odd.
I guess, when did you feel you were different? Would be the word.
Junior high, I like doing things more by myself, like walking to someplace by myself.
Mm-hmm.
High school, I like doing things more by myself and meeting people there. I didn't like really large crowds or stuff like that, but I participated in large crowds with whatever sports or whatever I did. But I didn't like it. I like doing things on my own.
All right, so I'll move into phase 2 and 3. We've actually talked a little bit about this, the hunting and the trolling phase.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Well, I mean, a lot of my reports, these are the most heightened stages for them. This is when they describe it as euphoria, ecstasy. Some will start off, just doing a couple hours, and then it'll escalate into, it'll go from like 2 to 4 to 6 hours. It'll just keep escalating. And it's described as almost like a drug.
Oh, yeah. It's not only that, it's just like you build yourself up and you build yourself up, and it's just like, oh, yeah, I can't wait for the conclusion. It's like, I'm going to get mine whether you like it or not.
So I've made this analogy for, Rob and Cindy, because, it's very hard to kind of place, yourself in the mind of a serial killer, right? So I always try to think of examples that people can comprehend or understand in a better way. And I said, Cindy, Rob, they're producers, right? So if they write a screenplay and they go pitch it to a network and they get the funding for it and they start to make it into their movie.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Would you describe that as a good example or an analogy of what you guys go through, or do you have a better one that you could share with us?
Living on the razor's edge. It's the only way to describe it. There is no feeling like it in the world, especially when you come across somebody that's a smartass, and then you think if they only knew what you just did an hour ago, or they only know what you did last week, it's like, oh, I got something for your ass, or I got something for your sister's ass, or somebody. It's like if they only knew what they were dealing with. It's just a hiding. It's utopia. It's
Euphoria.
pure bliss.
Wow. So that was part of the juice for you, is that you could be walking around in public and people didn't realize who you really were?
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, these people have no clue. No clue. And when someone's a smartass to you, let me give you an example. I ran prostitutes for years in Hollywood, okay? And I remember meeting a lot of these girls, and these girls had no idea. I'm back in a hotel room with them. They're tied to a bed, and they're trying to get a job, and they had no idea. It's like, what's in store for them if I wanted to happen. And it's like these people were so. It's like a wolf in a herd of sheep. It's just like I can't believe that people were that gullible. And it's like when it's more like they're throwing themselves at you to do something that needed to be done.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
But it's just like amazing, absolutely amazing. And it just wasn't once, it was twice. I was meeting sometimes 10 different girls a week. And out of them, having sex with 4 or 5 of them at least that were good looking or hot. And it's the same thing over and over again. They're coming to you, and you can do whatever you want, and no one would ever notice.
Doesn't it get tiring living a double life like
Yeah,
that?
I would think it would
Oh,
be.
no.
Exhausted.
Hell no. That's the best part. That is the best part, because no one would ever suspect you. And so when you would see something on TV, or you would see something on TV and it's referring to something you did, or you have a good idea, it's just like you get the biggest smile and sticker on your face. It's like, oh, okay.
But nobody knows.
I think we lost him. Did we lose him?
It's really interesting. We just watched The Woman of the Hour about Rodney Alcala.
Oh yeah, I just watched that too.
And did you see the part where they're on the dating game show and the guy, one of the contestants, was being a jerk to Rodney? It's exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And Rodney was like, he flicked a picture of one of the girls at him.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, what is that? Like, all of a sudden the guy was like freaked, like woke up and was like, holy shit, who am I dealing with here?
Right.
You just don't know who you're dealing with
Really
sometimes.
do. I mean, it's
And that
crazy.
scene was really disturbing, and it's just exactly what he's talking about.
Mhm.
I mean, and it's so true. I mean, in Hollywood, girls are just desperate to be famous when they come here. They'll do
Right.
anything, you know.
It's so true, and it's perfect. Pray for them, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They're young. A lot of them are just broken.
Out of state.
Yeah, they're alone. They come. Well, the same thing in that movie. The girl she was an actress. She was in LA by herself.
Right.
I mean, it's a lonely, scary place when you're here without your family, you don't
The
have
other
any
person
friends.
was a runaway.
Other girl was a runaway.
I thought it was perfect how they opened up the scene with the girl who's crying about, her heartbreak.
Yes.
Right.
And he's like listening to her.
Yeah, and he's taking her picture and he's feeling, he's being empathetic.
Yeah.
And you're like, but there's something wrong. This isn't right,
Right.
Something's off. I mean,
same place. I mean, you took your victims up to San Gabriel, just like Bittaker and Norris, and pretended to be.
I took them everywhere.
Well,
No, I took them everywhere.
yeah.
I took them everywhere because that was the business I was in.
Mhm.
So it's very easy when it comes across these people.
But it was the same thing. The
You know,
pictures, the photographer.
I don't like to say anything about that, but it was the business I was in. And basically I was in the adult industry. So that could be photographs, that could be videos, that could be pornos, that could be escorts, that could be strippers. I did the whole gambit. So, like I said, it's like a kid in a candy store.
Mm-hmm. So you described it, much like the others. What did you say? You used a different word than euphoria. Well, you said bliss, utopia.
Oh, yeah. It's utopia. It's the highest high.
Mm-hmm.
It's the highest high. It's better than any drug. It's better than any dope, any drugs, anything you ever could do. It's the biggest high that you could ever possibly get.
What do you think it is? The dopamine rush, the adrenaline rush? What is it that's getting you this high?
I would say the whole, because you know what's going to happen and you know what you are about to do, and you can't believe it's like stupid euphoria. It's like, and what I mean by that is how stupid somebody is, and you're getting high off their stupidity. It's like, come on, man.
Or is it a
like,
high off of the acquisition?
What was that?
Is it the high off the acquisition? The hunt?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, it's a thrill of the chase. It's the thrill of the chase, and it's just like making a complete recipe. You you're putting the ingredients to a cake. You know, the flour, the sugar.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And then when you get done eating the cake, or right before you're ready to eat the cake, you carve it up.
Yeah. Well,
and basically that's it. You know, and that
I just find how it's interesting how you can talk so casually about something that's so horrific. You don't have any kind of feelings of.
But it's not.
So
it's
nothing.
Not. I'm telling you, when you do this for year after year, when you do this year after year, 10, 12 years, it's nothing to you. Why would it be? It's.
What was the longest span in between some of your events and your victims? What was the downtime? The longest downtime?
6 to 8 months at the most in all those years.
So what are you thinking about in those 6 to 8 months? I mean, is it just because you haven't found the right opportunity or the right motivation? I mean, what is it? You know, why 6 to 8 months?
Into that 6 to 8 months, like what was happening in your life that caused you to go for that long, if that was the longest?
A relationship until you got the person to do what you wanted, and sometimes it took a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So in that period, so you knew when you met that person that you were it was going to take you about 6 to 8 months to prepare yourself or prepare them for the right opportunity.
Yeah, because they were not exactly this dumbest person. I don't personally like stupid girls. This person was highly intelligent, and it just everything clicked, and it's only a matter of time. It seems like the more intelligent somebody is, the more isolated they are. That's just my experience when it comes to girls. And it just took a long time, and I was savoring the moments with her, and then we savored the moments together.
I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I want to reverse Rob's question. Your shortest
By the way,
time
just
span.
so you know, I got my log out for 2 minutes. I'm going to try to call back in. It might take me about 10 minutes to call back in.
Okay. That's fine.
All right. So go ahead.
Yeah, what was your shortest time span from the cycle and repeat?
Days. You don't understand. You have no idea how easy this stuff is, and you all act like it's like so bad. I understand what you're saying in retrospect. Oh, that's a terrible thing to do to somebody. Blah blah blah. But no, it's like me. I don't lose any.
Yeah. Well, we're not saying. I mean, logistically, is
it off?
Yeah.
No.
So.
Is he still there?
No, he'll call right back at time.
Okay. It's really scary how he has no empathy at all.
Well.
And also,
I mean, this is what really horrifies me about this. You know, first of all, like,
this is a real glimpse.
This is no empathy. Mm-hmm. There's no humanity in there.
Do you think he's playing it up a little bit too, though? It sounds really boastful.
Yeah, but just even watching, I'm telling you, we just watched this movie last night, and the one about Ocala. Mm-hmm. That guy was very boastful.
I was going to say it's hard to say boastful versus them actually being proud
of it.
Right. So it's like you have to take everything into consideration. Is he really just proud of this? I mean, when he speaks about it, he speaks about it with pride. You know?
Yeah, because he had power over something.
Right.
He had power. It gave him power to have that secret over people.
It's the only power these guys have ever
had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ever. But that's interesting with the relationship. I didn't know that fact. And just like Ridgeway, just like BTK,
Mhm.
there is something to be said. There can be relationships that come into their lives that actually, quiet it for a while.
Sure.
So is that really what it comes down to? They couldn't meet anyone to have a relationship with. They were struggling in that.
It have to be love. Like the two homicidal triggers is loss of love and loss of job. So it could also be a career too. And that goes both ways. So, a career move can keep them busy.
Do you call him back ready?
But typically a relationship is, men are sex driven, typically. And especially serial killers.
Yeah.
Call. You will not be charged.
That was weird. He said
call.
she was intelligent. I didn't expect that.
It was a challenge. It was a challenge.
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Okay, where were we?
You wanted to switch the question. We already
Yeah.
talked about that. We talked about that. But what was it we were just talking about that? I think we were asking you. You didn't really ask the question, but I think what we wanted to know is the thing you said about the victim being very smart and intelligent, and that's why it took so long for you to like the 6 to 8 months. Did you find that? Was that like
No.
Hmm?
That wasn't the victim. That was that was my girlfriend that ended up being just like me.
Meaning?
I guess you would call it grooming.
Okay.
Did you have her honk the horn too?
What was that?
Did you have her honk the horn too?
Look at that girl's still honking the horn.
I don't even want to ask what that means.
Remember last week I said he was grooming me, telling me to honk the horn.
Right, honking the horn.
Oh yeah. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
I forgot.
How did the grooming start with her?
I was everything. I was everything and more. Because when you have money or you have a nice car or you take time and it's like, I remember one time, it's like we were going someplace and she goes, I want to go grab something in the store. And so she said, can I have like $10? And I go, what? She had my wallet. I go, don't you ever take $10 out of my wallet again. Take at least $200 or $300. What's wrong with you? And she starts laughing. She was never used to that type of lifestyle. Plus, being in that industry blew her mind, literally. Absolutely blew her mind. So, it is what it is. But she's out there as we speak.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you all three of you seem awfully quiet now on that one.
Well, we're just a little surprised.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
It's the way she is, and it's the way I am.
Yeah.
So does that mean that she's out there doing the things that you did?
Let me put it to you this.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I told you about the Trojan horse. How you want to like bump someone off with like a high dose of uncut heroin or whatever it might be. I got a message when I was in here with somebody that we both knew, and the message she was laid to me like, how does it feel, bitch? That's what she told this person to tell me. It's like, oh, okay, what comes around goes around, okay. So, kind of a slap in my face, but I know where it came from.
Would you kill her if you could?
Would I see her?
Would you unalive her?
No. First the mother, then her.
Why the mother?
Wow.
Oh, because that would hurt her.
Well,
Yeah. But it is what it is.
Okay. Well, let me get back to the stages.
yeah.
I really want to read you the warning signs because I want to see how well they match up. Okay, so you've covered phase 1 is the fantasy stage. Now, let's see. Phase 2. Let me go to phase 2. Now, this is the planning. You're starting to actually put action into the fantasy here. You could be researching potential victims. I guess in your case, it would be with the girls in the porn industry going down to, the shelters, Skid Row.
And that's when I started doing the out call.
Mm-hmm.
That's when all that stuff happened, and that's when I ended up doing the in call. We were out call in call because instead of driving around and going to these different places, it's like if you want them, let them come to you. And then it's like no one will even suspect you. And that's what you do.
So it says the key
Why would they?
activities.
You're there to help them. They would never suspect anything.
Yeah, it says
Yeah,
gathering
one of those,
information.
aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're doing. Location scouting. Tool acquisition during this phase.
Yep.
Hold on one second. That's the prison. Give me 1 second, guys.
This is Global Telly.
Hold on. They shouldn't be calling this late.
You have a prepaid call from an incarcerated individual at the California Medical
Is that another inmate?
California. This call
I just wanna
and
see.
your telephone number
There's a-
will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call,
Hello?
thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey, I'm recording right now.
Oh, shit. That's not good. Chucky's flipping out about that again.
Can you handle him right now?
I'll have to do it in the morning.
All right.
I'll talk to you
Just
later.
keep him quiet tonight or just settle him down tonight. I'll handle it in the morning. Okay?
All right. You're going to have to deal with this.
I'll deal with it. Just keep him calm tonight. Okay?
All right.
All right.
I'll call in the morning. Okay.
Yeah, call me right in the morning.
All right.
Bye.
Is that our friend?
Yes. X, are you there?
Okay.
Check on our friend in the morning if
You know what?
can.
You know what's interesting about prison life? All
Everything.
of us kind of like hang out together. We all like kind of hang out together because we all have the written rule of like respect for each other.
Birds of a feather.
And no, it's like you look at these other people and they look at us and it's just like they look like we're the freaks and we look at them like you guys are a bunch of idiots.
Do you think you're superior because you're a serial killer?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
My neighbor's in here for attempted murder. Anyway, he's in here for attempting Xing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at him and I tell him flat out, couldn't you get it right the first time? What's wrong with you?
Okay.
That's the way I looked at it.
But-
It's not that hard.
All right. Yes, but like we're supposed to reproduce. That's why we're put on this planet. So if you're killing off people, humans, especially women who bring children into the world. You don't think?
Don't even go there with me.
But it's a real question.
In this conversation,
it's a real question.
Yeah, but it's a real question, but it won't even faze me.
It what?
It's like it won't even faze me because it's like
no. But I'm saying, like, how could you say you're superior when you're actually going against just our survival instincts, our primal survival instincts?
Because you're killing off the dumb and lesser of a herd that shouldn't be around to begin with. If they put themselves in that position and they're that stupid, fuck them. Wow.
Yeah, but that logic doesn't make sense either, because you're just doing it because it's self-indulgent. You're not doing it to, like, you're killing off the dumb people to help the planet. You're just doing it because you're self-indulgent, because you want to do it.
Do you want me to become an environmentalist? Wait till you see what I do then. But I understand what you're saying.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
What about the people that are just randomly chosen? Then you don't know if you're stupid or not. And just randomly walking down the street.
Yeah.
Bad things happen to good people all the time.
And what about the people who could have gone on to become doctors or lawyers or cured cancer?
I don't think it doesn't even faze me because I don't even think about it. It's like, let me put it to you this way. I sleep very soundly at night. Okay. But the one thing I do remember, if I don't know, the only thing that I can tell you is the first person. I still remember what her hair shampoos, her conditioner smells like. And I still to this day, can sound what her body sounded like when you were moving it. That's what sticks with me. But after a while, it's like you start panicking at the beginning. It's like, oh my God, I did this, it's this. After a couple of days, it's like, oh, that's no big deal when you start to snicker about it. And it's like, okay, next.
You told me that about the hair conditioner, and that's really frightening. He's saying just the smell of your hair conditioner can set them off.
Well, yeah, it's a trigger.
Yeah, like in this case, this person had white brain hair conditioner. I know that smell because every time I smell it, I have flashbacks of this girl. It's like a PTSD flashback.
So that means literally anything can set you guys off. I mean, anything. Just your choice of shampoo or
conditioner. It was a smell.
Yeah.
No, it was a smell. Every time I smell that, it's like, oh yeah, I'm having a flashback to this day. And when I hear a certain sound that will remind me of something like that, it's like, oh yeah, I remember her too. Or a certain like scream, not so much of a scream, but like an agony type of thing. Oh yeah, how could it not? You might not even remember at the time, but as soon as you hear that, it's like, oh, that happened like 10 minutes ago.
What did you feel when you heard a scream for the first time? What did you feel?
I better like quiet her down before somebody hears.
No. I'm talking about inside of you. What did you feel? Emotionally.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
In the summer of 1994, 4 teens entered an abandoned building in Gravesend, Brooklyn. It was the last time they would be seen alive. With few clues and no witnesses, the case went cold. But for Anthony Brewer, the brother of one of the victims, the search never stopped. In 2024, he acquired evidence from the police that contained DNA samples that didn't match the teens. That discovery put his life and the life of his family in grave danger. Goosebumps, The Vanishing. All episodes available January 10th on Disney Plus and Hulu on disneyplus.disney.com. Rated TV 14 LV.
The 2025 Ford Explorer ST has a 400 horsepower engine. It's up to you what you do with that power. The 2025 Ford Explorer. It's all in the name.
Horsepower and torque ratings based on premium fuel per SAE J1349 standard. Your results may vary.
Nothing. Excitement? Nothing?
You took a long time to answer that question.
No, because I was like retrospecting. It's like I used to like tell people, like when they used to have like, for example, if they had a wedding ring on, you know what? What are the 4 words I used to always tell them just to screw with them?
What?
Your husband sent me. And as soon as you say that to them, they go into another dimension. They lose it completely. I've seen girls piss their pants because they say that.
Could you imagine?
And
someone saying that to you, Cindy, about Rob?
No.
Oh my God.
I mean, I wouldn't believe it, but I can't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe that, but it's a trigger, and especially women who are in abusive relationships.
What it does is it totally turns them into dough, and it calms them down, and it totally takes them to another level where
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Giving them a narcotic to calm them down, but something like that, they just absolutely lose it. And I've never had any, I've heard people say, no, they wouldn't. I go, yes. Why do you think it was so easy to get you? Why do you think your husband told me where you were? Why do you think he doesn't like you? He hates your effing guts.
Wow.
He wants the kid. He wants this. You deserve this.
Wow.
And then it's all easy.
It's pretty sick, but I'm sure you found it effective. That's why you used it.
Do you think there's any serial killers you're locked up with currently, or maybe even in the past you've been all over, California's prisons?
Is he gone?
I think
Bigger than you.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
It's so disturbing. It's hard. It's hard to talk to him.
It's hard to listen to.
I'm having a hard time keeping my mouth shut.
You can see my face. Like,
I can see your face. I mean, it's just so disturbing on such a primal level. Those poor girls, what they went through, and seeing the pictures of how beautiful they were. It's heartbreaking.
They're so beautiful, and mothers, like, it's just.
I just can't. This is what's so terrifying about these types of people. And this is why we have to understand why they do these things to stop them.
I mean,
this has to stop.
I know,
when I said, what did you feel with the scream? I want to do an episode just on screams because I've done a ton of deep dives on this, just from Whitaker and Norris. And screams are actually addictive. There's a whole science behind it. That's why I'm like, what were you feeling?
Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Okay.
Sorry about that. What was the question?
God, I don't even know.
I can't even remember.
I do have a question because I see this a lot. Oh no, that was my question. Is there anybody, you've been all over, California's prisons. Is there any, and you hang out with all the serial killers. Is there anyone that you look at as sicker than you, or more wicked than you, or
more superior than you?
No. I just think of these people, I think I've even said it before, the first podcast, some of these people are real idiots. I don't personally like, when it comes to like making people suffer, like pulling teeth out or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not like in that sense like a sadistic type of person, like physically like that, but mentally I'm probably a lot worse.
Do you think you'd ever give up all your locations to me of all your unknown victims?
I don't know. It's like, how many times can you get the death penalty?
You can't.
Exactly. You
there's
can't.
There's no loss.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you tell her? What's the big deal now?
I've already,
Why bother?
Why not?
His father.
Do you know what it's like to go back to county jail for all those years for one murder?
They won't send you back to county for all those. They don't care about those. This would just be me, Cindy, and Rob going to look for them. Trust me. The three of us are up on San Gabriel looking for Cindy and Andrea. They're not going to bring you back to LA for this. They won't. They won't. They've already tried you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, for that one. How about all the others?
No, they won't.
No.
I'm telling you.
You're already convicted. They're not going to reopen a case. They're not going to retry you.
Even if you told us right now where they all were, and we went down to LAPD, they would not help us because I've already been down this road, and this is what I did with Cindy and Andrea, and they said, sorry, he's convicted. Find a way to do it.
Yeah.
They would do the same thing with you.
For that,
You're not going to be any different. You're not going to be any different. They're going to be like, close that case. It's closed on the books. Sorry. Find a nonprofit.
Yeah.
They're not going to bring you back down.
I don't think you would. I don't think you would really like to see some of these conditions of some of these arms and stuff like that.
That's not the goal.
It's irrelevant. The goal is to give these to bring these girls home to their family because they don't know what happened to them.
So a lot of these people, like Andrea Hall, her family has a burial spot right in between her mother and her father, and her 5 siblings just want to put her in her burial plot in between her parents. Like a lot of these siblings just want to bring.
I can understand with closure, but you got to remember a lot of these people, I have no clue except for a distant memory of what
you don't have to. We'll do that. We'll do all that hard work. We will do all that hard work. We'll have it all tested, paid for. We'll do that. You don't have to lift a finger. All you have to do is draw a map.
Yeah, that's it.
Think about it.
I will think about it.
It's really easy. I'll come see you. Come in person. We can draw it together.
So many people would be so interested.
Right.
So many people.
I will tell you this. If you ever have, like on your show, if you ever have any like people that are missing relatives or anything like that, I will tell you how I would go about let's just say if you find their car somewhere, or they went missing or somewhere, or they got abducted from somewhere, I would tell you how I would have done it.
Oh, like you did with Gloria?
So maybe
he helped Gloria with
so
the Lewis Valley Clark.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when she was talking about how they found those cars, and I said, well, the first thing you're going to do, if you want to know if it's more than one person, if it's a guy, check the seat of the car. Mm-hmm. Because most people, when they're stealing, when they have the body or whatever, they're with somebody, their partner is driving the car, and a lot of these people don't realize to put the seat back up. Because a lot of these girls are petite in stature, so they always have the seat up. So if the person is in a hurry, that's a clue. But who's going to leave a car in the boonies and not have a way to get out? Am I correct?
That's some
methodical
thinking.
But if you're willing to do that, what's the difference of that? And that's just another level of what Laura just asked you about missing victims.
Giving her a map.
He's going to give it.
I'll think about that.
Okay.
It'll make, I mean, honestly, it'll be international news.
I don't care about international titles.
Well, that and the fact that, their families.
That's what I mean. It would give these families that closure that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you said you're going to think about it. Think about it.
Think
Esta
about it.
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
What's the next step that you want to go through with your 7 stages?
Well, we covered, so
Change it.
we're getting we're gonna have to do a part 2 because we're like at stage 2.
Right.
We had literally
I only have
stage 2.
about
I know we're gonna have to
about 2
continue
minutes
this
left.
with the stages, and then I want to
That's
cover
okay.
4 types. I already know what type you are. I do have one
By
question.
the way, yeah.
How often do you watch like animal shows, like on PBS or that kind of stuff?
I don't like seeing things. I don't like. I don't know what people are talking about. You
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
torturing animals. I've never
No,
did
I'm
that.
not.
I've
What am I
loved
talking? I'm
animals.
talking about nature shows. I'm
Talking about nature shows.
nature shows. No one's talking about torturing
No,
animals.
I really don't like nature shows. I don't like anything violent in nature. I like waterfalls. I like.
What's your
you know,
favorite
valleys.
show
I
on
like
TV
streams,
right
rivers.
now? What's your favorite show?
I'm actually into the technical stuff.
Give
I
us
like
a show.
technical stuff.
Name a show.
Yeah, aircraft.
That's a
I
show.
always like Wings.
That's a show.
The one word that. Yeah, it's Wings. It's a TV show about aircraft.
What's your favorite movie?
Yeah, anything that. It's my favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say The Forbidden Planet with Robbie the Robot. I've always liked that type of stuff.
Robbie the Robot, The Forbidden Planet. That's an old movie.
I haven't seen that.
How old is he? Is he in his what? Is he late 60s?
60s, yeah.
Is he gone again?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone for the night.
Oh,
Coming back because.
Well, listen. I mean, you made some progress. Was that the first time you ever asked him for remains?
No, but that was a big pause. Like he really was starting to think about it. I mean, he's always was, always thinking about it, but it's always just been a push.
How does he not know that they can't charge him anymore for he's there for?
They're always so
death sentence.
paranoid. They're going to be like, and actually what happened with Bill Suff didn't help much when they flew him down for that.
Yeah, but they just flew him right back.
I know. And then Chester Turner now they just charged him with another murder.
yeah, but what does that mean? Big deal. So they charge him with
I know.
it.
So it's like
It's just like they're not gonna move him.
I mean, look at Bittaker Norris. Like Cindy and Andy were still up there. There was, literally a 6th murder right in the police discovery, never charged for it.
Yeah.
And, it's really picking choose. I mean, it's up to the DA.
It's
The DA
paperwork. It's literally paperwork.
I think you can.
Paperwork on that end, but it's so much more on the other end.
I don't know, Laura. I think you can squeeze him. I think you can get it.
Los Angeles County would never bring him back.
No, but also focusing on the fact to make him famous. That's what he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, we can't.
He's full of shit. He totally loves that. He was kept asking about how many downloads. That's what he wants.
I think he wants to be the new Larry.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he does.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm. But that's how we play him.
Exactly.
Yeah. We push him on that.
Does he listen to it? Can he hear it?
I can play it for him.
Oh, you can play it, but he can't listen to it inside.
Not unless, well, I mean, they do have cell phones. So if he gets his hands on a cell phone, yeah. But
He can listen to this.
he wouldn't have access to a cell phone. I can make sure he doesn't have access to a cell phone. I can make.
I mean, you would think the prison would be able to make sure that he didn't have access to a cell phone, but that doesn't happen.
I mean, it's just so. What years were this? Was this the same as Akala? It's just so weird to me. Like Akala, Bittaker,
on top of each other,
all at the same time, doing the same thing.
No, he was later though.
Akala was in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Bittaker was in the late 70s, early 80s.
Alcala and Bittaker were hunting at Knott's
At the
Berry
same time.
79. Like, that's crazy. And then Doug was hanging out with the Hillside Stranglers. And they were all the same year because Doug was 1980. I mean, they were all 78, 79, 80, 81. Then Ramirez came in. I mean,
What the hell was happening in LA that this was going on?
Crazy. Yeah.
Serious. There's something there. There's something not right with that. I don't know. That movie, Anna Kendrick, she did a great job.
She did.
She did a really great job. It's still sitting with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing.
I mean, you would think that, we hear about this stuff through you and what we do all the time, and we'd be a little bit desensitized.
No.
That movie it creeped me out.
I feel like we're just like, scraping the surface.
We
part
that was really disturbing to me in that movie was when he was the one girl that got away.
Oh, she was
the pretty little girl that got away. When he started crying,
mm-hmm.
I was really freaked out when he started crying. I was like, what? I wanted to ask you about that. Why would he start crying?
They will, like I said, phase 7, they will go through a depression period. Like, this is when they actually will. Some of them will go through a depression period. They'll feel bad. Some do feel remorse. Usually, if you see the body like turned or posed, not like spread eagle, like I'm talking about like posed, maybe covered up or.
Well, she was still alive.
That can be a sign of remorse.
She was still alive when
she
he was.
But I'm saying there are. Yeah, there are signs. Even serial killers give off that there are signs of remorse of how the body, is left or displayed. If there's more care kept with the body. So it's not that they're all just complete psychos like X here. I mean, look at Wayne.
Right. I mean, Wayne but Wayne also had a brain injury.
Right.
So there's I do believe that really kind of triggered his
I'm sure he had
psychosis.
He had some issues beforehand, but
I don't think that he was before that happened. I don't feel like that he would have been a serial killer. Do you?
Right. No, I think he had the traumatic childhood coupled with, the head injury, then a lot of, life events of, getting kicked out of the Marines, failed marriages. I think it was just, like I always say, a perfect storm, unfortunately. And I think the head injury played, a major aspect in that, unfortunately.
Yeah, the difference between him, Wayne Adam Ford, and X dude is that Wayne, you can hear his remorse, and he realized he knows what he did was wrong. And, X just knows what he did was wrong, but he really revels in it.
Yeah, and he thinks he's superior to everyone.
Part of me thinks that's a little bit of bravado that he's throwing out there.
I don't think so.
I think it's a little.
I don't feel that. I have felt that before with other ones that have done that. But not with this one. I don't think so. I think he thinks truly that he is superior.
Yeah, you could hear that. I'm superior.
Wow.
But
that was a heavy one.
That was heavy for me. I'm not feeling good.
Sage. I have some sage. I'm gonna go.
I gotta go get my holy water downstairs.
Yeah.
From the Vatican.
Wow.
I don't know if that helps.
But listen, I mean, it's like you're getting these guys to open up like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we need to do.
You've gotten them to the point where you get them to open them up on your own, and then you can basically include other people.
Mm-hmm.
And they're comfortable with that.
It's really amazing because, the last 10 years, it's always been me one-on-one with them in a cage. And I was thinking about that today is like, it's a whole different dynamic this last year because now it's like I'm bringing them not just to you guys, but like to the public.
Yeah.
Which is so scary for them and so scary for me as well, because, they're scared to talk about this stuff. And I mean, it's wild.
Which is hilarious because he'll go off on a tangent. Then we kind of paint him in a corner. And then he's like, oh, and he's like, what's the next question?
Well, the thing that's different, though, the last couple of times we've talked to X, whenever we ask him a question he's uncomfortable with, he would just hang up.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that this time.
No, he stayed on. And I think they're just starting to warm up. Like, I went through this with 10 years. They're like, I had to build that trust and rapport with them. And they're skittish. They're very scared creatures. You just got to bring them in, and
Well,
especially
you know what it is? They just don't. When they feel, I think it's less about being scared. I think it's more about them losing leverage.
yeah, they need to have the control, the power, feel, or at least feel the illusion that they're in control or power.
Yeah.
Especially when you work with sexual sadists, especially, it's a really interesting dynamic because, you know, you kind of have the power, but you have to like give them the illusion, which is what Alan and I have always talked about. And it's a very, very delicate dance. And amazingly, Bittaker and I were able to do it, but it takes years. And Rob has done this with Shermantine.
Yeah.
But you get to a certain point, and I've seen this with Rob and Wes, and I've seen it with Bittaker, is like they just get to a point where they're just so submissive to you, where the FBI had just went in to talk to Wes, the FBI went in to talk to Bittaker, and even like production companies have been calling Wes and have called Bittaker. And the first thing they say is, I don't know, you've got to call Laura. I don't know, you've got to call Rob. Because it's like they won't do anything without us. Like it's because they trust.
Well, now they're
Now
you become their like security with the
Security
outside
blanket, yeah.
world.
Right. You're their protector. It's like they trust you, and it is. So it's a new dynamic, bringing them onto the forefront for the public and for you guys too. It's a really different dynamic, and especially when I'm doing my interviewing techniques, like there's a lot of lines of like questioning I'll do, and I think, a lot of ignorant people don't understand what I'm doing. They might they don't understand what, tactical empathy may be. And they also don't understand like maybe sometimes the power of humor and just
Exactly.
It throws people off.
In the beginning, to be fair, in the beginning, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Because I feel so much for these victims. It's really hard to listen to these people talk. Then the interaction that you have with them is so casual. And if you don't understand what you're doing, it can kind of freak you out.
Yeah.
But after I got to know you and I saw what you were actually doing, I was like so impressed.
It does.
And the way that you're able to unravel them.
Relaxed and in control, like when I'm sitting in the cage with them. But I'm actually the opposite. Like my adrenaline's soaring. I'm actually like actually just neurotic in my own head and analyzing every movement. But I'll look, I'm just good at looking,
well, listen, it's like if you were in a cage with a tiger, you wouldn't be, you'd want to be calm. You'd want to soothe them. You want to give them things, you want to give them, like you go in those cages and you get them food. It's the first thing you do is you go and you get them food.
Right.
And you go into the cage for food. It's like dealing with a wild animal.
Right. Exactly.
And then it's just like, all right, what do you want to talk about?
Even Bittaker was like a feral animal when I first went to them. I mean, it took years to build these relationships with them, and you have to get close to them. You have to build that tactical empathy. You have to use humor. You have to use everything in your arsenal. And I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It takes, a level.
Do you have his POA for him?
Not yet, actually. Not his. I do have his murder book on the way. But that is a great point, because I should get that just so I can get every single thing on his case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll help try to figure out what the victims are.
Okay. Well, this is crazy one before Christmas, but this is going to air after Christmas.
Right.
I'm not going to put this before Christmas.
No.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
It'll be before New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like you did make headway tonight. I do think that you're getting closer.
It's funny because there've been every single time we've had him on, there has been something new I've learned.
Yeah. No, he can tell he's definitely, he's opened up. He's opening up.
We just got to get those victims.
As long as we're willing to kind of listen to his horrific,
psychotic, horrifying.
I mean, it's just like you got to get through that. It's like I'm listening to it, and it's like
it's so hard not to just start screaming at him.
I know,
but
just going silent is the best thing.
It's the only thing I have to bite.
Because he wants the reaction.
Right, they're gonna want to fill the silence. Just a normal reaction from people. They'll try to fill the silence, and so many times I've just kept silent, and they'll just keep going and rambling.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, in those moments where you just want to cringe, just go silent.
I do. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough listening to. But good job. Good work.
Yeah.
Because I do think we're getting closer.
I think so too. Little by little.
Yeah.
All right, Laura.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.